not going to be a trooper out that day. How many are going 65, right? That's what's happening in college athletics right now. And so you have to decide as an athletic director, are you going to get out in this lane that you know you're not supposed to be in and operate without the highest level of integrity, or do you want to stay in these two lanes? And that's where the rub is coming right now in college athletics. Until we get our enforcement agency up and running, you're going to continue to have schools operating in that third lane, and that's a bad place to be, in my opinion. It's bad for college athletics. And I don't want to operate there, but I think to be competitive, we may have to figure out what that third lane looks like for the University of Arkansas.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. With Ty Richardson.
It's called integrity, saying what you think.
You don't. And Tommy Kraft.
We got Nut Grub.
Okay.
And we got the, what I call it? The Buck Muffin.
And produced by Colton Little. This is The Morning Rush.
Nut Grub. Nut Grub. That's where we start here this morning on a Tuesday. Bruce Stanton's here, Pradco Fishing. I think Tommy's going to be along with us momentarily, maybe earlier than we initially thought. You know, I was, as an athletics director, I feel like it's a lot more difficult to talk to a booster and a fan club than after a loss than after a win. Hunter Yurchek was at the Little Rock Touchdown Club yesterday. You heard his comments there. And there's already been a lot of opinions about this. My phone blew up yesterday about Hunter thinking this, Hunter thinking that. I'm really curious as we get going here the next 2 hours, thoughts on not just those comments about college athletics, but where he kind of has Arkansas, the football program, relative to the basketball and baseball program, which he puts on a much higher level, it sounds like. So there's going to be plenty to get into this morning. Bruce, we were just talking before the show with Arkansas and Tennessee losing in the most volunteer and Razorback way possible. I think one of the things I also want to get into is, are they going to be able to move it past it this weekend? The Razorbacks had UAB, funny enough, last year after that loss to Oklahoma State, only won by 10. They were down the first half. You guys have UAB this weekend, so I'm really curious how both teams respond. One's in Knoxville. Or I guess they're both in Tennessee. One's in Memphis, one's in Knoxville this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think Arkansas's got a little tougher game, but I just don't see how Memphis is going to guard Taylor Green.
Mm-hmm.
I really have a hard – and, you know, y'all might give up some points, but – it might be 50-30, but I don't think Taylor's going to have any problem against Memphis, and hopefully they'll just steamroll UAB and get ready to go play Mississippi State, which all of a sudden I thought that was going to be a layup gimme, and that might be a tough one down there. Yeah,
that is something that was kind of unexpected with their initial or early win, I should say, against Arizona State. Don't know if I necessarily anticipated that. I had Arizona State going in there and winning that game, but Kenny Dillingham and company weren't able to get it from Jeff Levy. Tommy, are you there? Do I hear you? Am I making that up? You there? All right. Well, he'll probably text us when he's ready to go. He's finishing up at the ABA convention in Hot Springs, so we'll hear from him again momentarily as we get going this morning. You heard those comments there from Hunter, and I have plenty of thoughts, and I know we're going to get into them. If you've got some thoughts, you can jump in with us here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline at 877-377-6963. So the lane that he was kind of talking about for Arkansas athletics and NIL, I mean, this is kind of combining a bunch of different topics, but it's really about the current state of college athletics and everything else, and maybe not going all in on some unknown boundaries or some gray areas and all that stuff. It's like my thought process on this when I initially heard that is, are we just supposed to sit around and wait and hope that these different things that are supposed to happen are going to happen? Like, Arkansas is in a situation right now where you haven't won double-digit games since 2011. Lately, you've just kind of been middling around 500 with the exception of 2021. And I would think as a leader of an athletics department that you would want to be as proactive as possible and help yourself as much as possible. Now, there's always going to be pushback when you're asking for money in NIL, but you're basically saying that you don't think that we, not that we even could compete, but that we even should try to go for it. And that's at least what I took away from his comments yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think it gave you a lot of positivity as a Razorback fan. You've got to find a way to get in there and spend money. I mean, look at the people that are spending money like Ole Miss. They're putting a good product out there. Florida State took full advantage of it, and they've turned it around in a season from 2 wins. I mean, they're in the playoff right now, and you've just got to be you got to find a way to be one of those teams. You're doing it in basketball. You got to find a way to get that money in football, because if you don't, mediocrity.
Yeah, and just again, you'll have one big win a year. It was Tennessee last year. I guess you can qualify the Florida win 2 years ago. Ole Miss 2022, had a few more in 2021, but really it's kind of that one big win a year that Arkansas fans have kind of had. Go ahead, Colton.
He needs to steer clear of all highway analogies, talking about any lanes or things like that, because that's just not – it's opening up some old wounds that haven't been stitched up with left lane hammering down. So that's bad analogy, first of all. But tied to your point, it kind of sounds like, yeah, they're just sort of apathetic about getting anything changed. They realize that, yes, we're behind the times, but you remember when all this stuff was rolled out, all the NIL and everything, and it didn't seem like anybody up there in the administration was gung-ho about this change. As a matter of fact, Hunter was on the record saying that it was, a lot and not necessarily the best thing for college athletics at the time. So it's a hard pill to swallow, but anytime your athletic director goes up there and is in front of the public, there's going to be a great portion of the fan base that is not going to like what he has to say, no matter what
Especially
he says.
After
a loss.
Again, not easy to do that. That's where we begin. We are brought to you this morning by Inn at the Mill. The Inn at the Mill, the perfect place to stay in Northwest Arkansas. You can always give them a call at 479-443-1800 or visit inatthemill.com. That's inatthemill.com. It's right on the Johnson exit. So you're close to Fayetteville, you're close to Springdale, Bentonville, Rogers. It's kind of that perfect spot in Northwest Arkansas for game weekends, concerts, staycations. You can do it all at the Inn at the Mill. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
You can't let any one game lose the next one for you. It's just like you can't let a big win. You're not just going to win the next week, So we'll do the same process that we did, after Arkansas State and Alabama A&M, and correct what we need to correct today, and find out what we need to get better at. We'll find out what we're doing good is as important as that too, and move on.
This is the opening drive.
So we kind of spoke to the idea of hopefully Arkansas and Tennessee losing in heartbreaking fashion, being able to move on this week. Before we get into kind of our Pradco pyramid of power here, Bruce, one of the other things we were kind of talking about before the show is there's been, through 3 weeks of football, a pretty big shuffle with who we think's a good quarterback versus just okay and not any good. I think Arkansas fans and Tennessee fans are a lot more confident in Taylor Green and Joey Aguilar than they were before the season began. Texas fans are less confident in Arch. LSU fans maybe less confident in Nussmeier, even though it sounds like he's a little bit injured. But I think the landscape of the quarterback position in this league has changed pretty dramatically from before the season to after 3 weeks.
Well, all you were hearing about was Arch, Lagway, Sellers. Lagway had 5 interceptions.
5 picks, yep.
Death Valley. Sellers got hurt, but he's not really been – he's been kind of pedestrian.
It really wasn't good.
Mateer is one of the better quarterbacks, the transfer from Washington State, playing at Oklahoma. And then Aguilar, he's throwing the deep ball well, very accurate. Talon is by far the best dual threat right now, putting up big stats. So, yeah, I think from what we said in our top six quarterbacks, ranking them in the summer, it's already seen kind of a upside downage already.
Yeah, Diego Pavia is another name that he's driven awesome. They go into Columbia and just smash the Gamecocks.
Well, he's not going to have stats, but he's just a winner.
Yeah, he's just a winner.
He's a winner.
He doesn't shy away from telling people what he thinks, which I always like. Marcel Reed's been really good. He obviously has the game-winning touchdown Saturday in South Bend. So that was a massive win. Notre Dame now 0-2, having 2 losses heading into Fayetteville, maybe more. I doubt it, but that game coming up here in a few weeks in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I say a few weeks here next week. I'm curious, like by season's end, and we were talking about then the upcoming Arkansas and Tennessee matchup here the second weekend of October, and that could be another Ole Miss Arkansas type of score where you see 30, 40 points for each team.
1,000 yards total.
Yeah, 1,000 yards,
yeah.
just back and forth. Obviously, the game's in Knoxville, so you'd probably favor Tennessee, and they're the better team. I don't think you can really dispute that. But Taylor's already further ahead than I think a lot of people anticipated. At least I anticipated. I had wondered, it's like, hey, what is his signature SEC moment going to be? He basically got it taken away from him Saturday night.
He did.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I had no doubt in my mind that if they were going to, and I say maybe the defense gives up a field goal, but that is the best game that he has played at Arkansas. And you could talk about Texas Tech and Memphis last year. You can talk about the outstanding game he had against UAPB, but those games don't really matter. He played the best he has played in an Arkansas uniform on Saturday night, and his signature moment, unfortunately, was taken away from him because he didn't get help from his defense, and unfortunately, a teammate coughed it up at the end.
Well, I'd say everybody in an Ole Miss jersey and coaching shirt had a sick feeling the way that fourth quarter was unfolding, the drive, the way it was unfolding, and I think every Arkansas fan feels like it was just a matter of how much time you were going to leave Ole Miss to try to answer, because it was a touchdown was a foregone conclusion. It's like, is he going to break a big one, or are they going to try to milk it? I don't think anyone thought the game was going to end the way it did, just the way he was moving the ball.
I was thinking to myself, all right, so Arkansas is going to score here, and they're potentially going to give up a field goal or a touchdown. Hopefully not, but that was kind of what I envisioned. Then they throw that bubble screen, and Jalen gets the ball ripped away from him. But you are hoping, as an Arkansas fan, when you look at this weekend, like Arkansas is about a touchdown favorite against Memphis. That is probably going to be another high-scoring affair. Is it C.J. Carr or Colin Carr?
C.J. Carr.
C.J. Carr's looked better, looked good against A&M. That'll be a game, obviously. That'll be another. You're hoping that Talon will continue to play either up to the other quarterback or better. I mean, Trinidad had 3 touchdowns. He was 21 to 29. He was really, really good for Ole Miss. They were at least on an even level Saturday night. But that's what's going to probably require for Arkansas and Talon Green the rest of the way.
Well,
when it comes.
This is what it takes to be great. It's Georgia. They win close games. They execute in all 3 phases. You know, one play, whether it's a field goal for Tennessee, a fumble for Arkansas, or a missed hold for Notre Dame, one play at the end of a game will beat you. And the good teams, Alabama historically, Georgia historically, find ways not to make that one mistake that will beat you at the end. And you know, I think Alabama dominated people, but Kirby Smart's found a way to win these close games, and his team finds a way just to not screw up at the end of a game. And some of us have teams that just kind of find ways to screw up at the end of a game.
And it's a different way each time. It's Tennessee's had less of them than Arkansas has had, but when you reference the 7-18 statistic of one-score games under Sam Pittman, it's not like they've lost it in one particular way. No. Now, there have been things that have been consistent at times. They only had 1 turnover. It just came at the most ill-opportune time at the tail end of that game. But the penalties, like I referenced this yesterday, in the last 5 years, Arkansas has ranked like 73rd or worse in penalties each and every year. Heck, Bruce, when they won 9 games in 21, they were like 103rd in penalties. So they won in despite of mental errors and miscues. And that's not all on Sam Pittman. Like, people wanted to dog him after the loss Saturday night. But at a certain point, like, players are getting paid. There is a and Colton, you brought this up yesterday. There is a responsibility that comes with that. Now, that you can actually say. Now, that doesn't mean you go toe-to-toe and criticism like you necessarily would with an NFL player and whatnot. And that doesn't mean you come with personal attacks or everything else. But there is definitely more of that is expected from guys and gals, for that matter, here in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different level of accountability. If you're getting paid 7 figures or 6 figures, you can't screw up. And you know, when you look, I guess the impressive thing about Ole Miss is they're able to pay that kind of money to backups. Trinidad might be the best backup walking around in the United States right now.
He's not a Fair State kid if he's a little taller. Kiffin takes a chance on him, and he was unbelievable. That kid, Colton, you were talking about the Tennessee kicker looking like he was shying away from the moment. That kid was ready.
He was ready
Saturday night, and first FBS start, SEC game. Not that Arkansas is elite defense or anything, but unfortunately for us, he lived up to the moment.
One of the stats in the game by the announcing crew was he played in front of more people in that one game on Saturday than he played for in 13 games the whole year.
Jeez. That's wild. All right, let's get into our Pradco Pyramid of Power coming up in just a bit. Before we do, got to tell you about APAC and Standard Materials Group, #1 source for top quality aggregates, asphalt, and ready-mix concrete. You could be working on a small residential project or a large-scale commercial job. They've got you covered. Call 479-587-3300 for all your rock, asphalt, and ready-mix needs. APAC and Standard Materials Group. One more time, 479-587-3300.
LearnNet.com, LearnNet.com, LearnNet.com. There you
Chrome
go.
blackback, Chrome blackback, Chrome blackback.
Who are the best football teams in the SEC? Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
All right, Bruce, just you. Tommy's running a little late, so you're gonna lead this charge.
I'm
this
sad
one.
Tommy's not here because I'm shaking it up a little bit
Okay.
based on everything that happened. We've been high on LSU, even though they won. I think their offense is really struggling. So I went Georgia. I thought Georgia had a more impressive win. They're 3-0. Their offense got in gear. Little suspect on the deep ball, their defense, but anybody that won that game Saturday the way they did, man, you got to hand it to them. Gunnar Stockton made the plays when he had to, and they have an open date, and then Bama between the hedges. But I got Georgia #1.
Yeah, you mentioned him making some plays. I mean, how many times did he get clocked in that game and for a completion? I know too many to count, but he's definitely a guy that stepped up in a big way for his team on Saturday.
So LSU, obviously the Clemson win doesn't look near as impressive now since your boy Haynes King whooped them with Georgia Tech.
Let's go.
But, LSU, they'll take the gift of 5 DJ Lagway interceptions.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look brutal. Brutal.
Vintage LSU defense. That's
Yeah.
what you should be scared about if you're an Arkansas fan or whatever. It's not that Nussmeier and that offense, like you said, been clicking, but that with Perkins, the Weeks brothers, I mean, that looks like a defense that we've seen before in Baton Rouge.
Their secondary is incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But
DBU.
they've got, especially the night game, they've got Southeast Louisiana, another night game this week. They'll be 4-0. But, just because Georgia beat a higher profile, tougher opponent, I just said, I'm going with the Bulldogs 1, LSU 2. And then out of nowhere, Texas A&M 3-0. Huge, huge, huge road win, beating Notre Dame 41-40. Marcel did look great. Did they show the holder too much on TV? That was awkward. How many holders get that much airtime? And he had this little, yellow jersey he wore on, practice jersey he wore on. So, he just kind of stood out. Feel bad for the kid.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance, kind of like the Georgia. I watched snippets of that. I saw the final touchdown, maybe the missed holding call at the end of that game, but I'm just now learning about this in real time. So evidently the holder got too much attention.
A&M number
It
3.
was Tyler Buckner tied, the former quarterback for the Crimson Tide that started that random game for Nick Saban against USF. That was the holder that he's referring
Interesting.
to. Yeah.
Okay.
Going with Oklahoma Sooners, number 3, pretty pedestrian opponent in Temple. But they're 3-0. They're looking good. Obviously, they won a big game the week before. Big game versus Auburn this week with Jackson Arnold at quarterback for the Auburn Tigers.
If game day hadn't gone to
Miami,
in Miami, because they were in Norman the week before,
this would be a good
this would be it, because you've got the reunion. I mean, this kid is not even a year removed from Norman. I think this is going to be a heck of a game, and I like Auburn to at least cover. I don't know if I'm a dead set on them winning, but I think that Hugh Freeze and company, that offense they didn't look great against South Alabama, because I think Arnold's really looking forward to this game.
I think this is kind of what we expected when they hired Hugh Freeze. We expected him to play in big games like this and, have a semblance of looking like a team. So I think he's finally there. But it's compelling, if you read the storylines. But I got Oklahoma number 4. Unfortunately, got Ole Miss at number 5.
Oof.
They're 3-0 and 2-0. We all know who Trinidad Chambliss is.
Yep, we do, unfortunately.
If you ever go to a bar in 10 years and somebody asks who Trinidad Chambliss is, you will know the answer.
Yeah, and now it's not. I listened to Lane Kiffin yesterday. It sounds like Austin Simmons is going to go back in that starting role. Now that could be gamesmanship on his part, and he could be putting Chambliss back in there. But it sounds like that ankle's trying to get back to normal. So I'm curious to see if there's a a back and forth based on how Chambliss played on Saturday.
No way either one of them could redshirt after 3 games.
I wouldn't.
They're just going to roll with it.
I wouldn't think so, but just because of the injury to Simmons, you want to have that guy as a backup. Just
Ole Miss has Tulane this week. As bad as they looked against Kentucky, I think that could be a sneaky game. That
it was last year in New Orleans.
Yeah. And then at number 6, I'm gonna keep homering up. Tennessee 2-1, 0-1 kickers, just kickers.
College kickers, man.
Except for losing on the scoreboard, felt like they beat Georgia. But that's how many college football fans say that. Joey Aguilar is for real. And, you look at Nico, he's 0-3, he got his coach fired, not turning out too well for Nico. And I got to wonder if the kid, he's playing on Fridays a lot at UCLA. Does he watch these games on Saturday? I mean, what does he think? Do people text him in his text group like, man, did you see what Joey's doing for the Vols? I mean, it's got to be tough.
Old teammates, yeah. You mentioned the college kickers. And Sam Pittman touched on this. We'll get into this for a hog update. Starzik, 0-2 on Saturday night. He's going to another road environment. Not the same hostility that he saw in Oxford, but curious how he maybe bounces back if he does in Memphis this weekend. All right, Bruce, what's going on? You sent me and Tommy some picks this morning. What's going on with Pradco?
All right, so this time of year, a lot of your threadfin shad are real small. They're like 1 inch, and you got to downsize to catch fish. They won't hit a 3-inch topwater bait. They won't hit a 6-inch finesse worm a lot of times, but they will hit a Bobby Garland baby shad. It's a crappie bait. I like the monkey milk color. Put it on a 16th ounce or 32nd ounce jig head. I like throwing them 2 at a time, and you will catch fish 2 at a time this time of year. We did it all weekend down at Broken Bow. The spotted bass and smallmouth are schooling. They're roaming offshore, chasing bait. So Bobby Garland baby shad, not just a crappie bait, it's great bass bait.
LureNet.com, tackle stores all over the place. Hopefully both teams bounce back this weekend. Hope so. Hog updates next.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here and hitthatline.com.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at LureNet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother. They're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef, It's What's for Dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. Courtesy of beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, It's What's for Dinner.
To give you some perspective on those 39 across 12 different sports, our friends to the north at the University of Missouri have won 0 during that same time period.
This is the Morning Rush.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to make you a morning person. Loading up our omelet biscuit with sausage, ham, and applewood smoked bacon stacked on a fluffy made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Or making a home-style loaded burrito. All that breakfast in a tortilla with crispy hash browns. Good morning, morning person. From Hardee's Country. Download the app and join my rewards for 20% off any breakfast purchase of $10 or more. Registration and minimum $10 purchase required. See app for terms.
The proud, honorable men and women of our military are sacrificing their lives and their families for our freedom. Please take time to remember and pray for our men and women fighting overseas. This salute is courtesy of Brew Crew Gutters and Garage Doors, proudly serving our area with reliability and excellence. For all of your residential and commercial gutter and garage door needs, call 479-255-8065. That's Brew Crew Gutters and Garage Doors, on the air, saluting our troops.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Get ready for fall with our Steel Fall Sales event going on now at Yeager's Ace Hardware. Save $50 on the Steel MS250 18-inch gas-powered chainsaw, now only $379.99. Buy the Steel MSA 70CB battery-powered chainsaw kit that includes a battery and a charger, and you get a 5-amp-hour battery for free. Or buy the Steel BGA 60 battery-powered blower kit, which includes battery and charger, and you get that 5-amp-hour battery for free. Steel, now available at all 5 Yeager's locations. Yeager's Ace Hardware. Real help, real savings.
Looking for the perfect gift that's personal and powerful? The Solid Rock has you covered. From custom laser-engraved cutting boards and coasters to travel mugs and keepsakes. Each piece is made with care and personalized just for your special occasion, whether it's a wedding, birthday, anniversary, or just because. They help you give gifts that inspire, engraved with names, scriptures, or messages that honor Christ. Shop the Solid Rock, located next to Sam's Club on South 74th in Fort Smith. The Solid Rock, serving the River Valley for over 49 years.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
We love the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those.
7 down.
This one belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
He practiced three of the 4 practices, but not full speed. But when the quarterback or running back, can't remember which one, got outside the pocket, he was flying after him. So I expect him to be healthy. He was moving. We couldn't have ran any faster. We need him back, and we need him healthy, obviously. He's in better shape right now than he was last Monday. So I expect him to be ready to go.
That was an injury update from Sam Pittman yesterday as he met with the Arkansas media talking about Quincy Rhodes, who did participate and play on Saturday night. Wasn't fully healthy, it sounds like, still trying to get back into it. Quincy made the play, if you remember, at the tail end of the fourth quarter where he chased Chambliss out of bounds and forced Ole Miss into a 3-and-out situation. Offense got the ball back, and unfortunately, we knew it happened after that. But that was one injury kind of wondering about. Another guy you got back was David Oakey.
He needs to. I mean, he needs to. He's ready to go, and didn't practice really full speed a lot last week.
Both those guys came back. Again, didn't get a ton of stuff, it sounds like, when I listened to Sam yesterday. But hopefully Colton, they'll be a lot healthier and they can contribute a lot more on the field and in snaps, because They've been really high on Oki. Quincy's arguably been your best defensive end. Really need both those guys come Saturday at 11 a.m.
Well, we heard this last week talking about some of the other players that had dealt with injuries in the Arkansas State game. When you don't practice, you're not going to play very well either. So I think if Quincy Rhodes would have gotten a little bit more run in practice this past week, we might have seen maybe a sack or two. I think he had something like an 80-plus Pro Football Focus grade from this past weekend. So to your point, Ty, he is definitely the best pass rusher on your roster. And so hopefully he can get a little bit healthier, a little bit better, because one thing that was sorely lacking from the performance on Saturday was pressure on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to need more of that if they're going to compete anytime. Xavier Sori was talking about it as well.
Yeah, it's very frustrating not to be able to get to the quarterback. The first level guys, we always want to help out our third level guys like corners and safeties and stuff because rush and covers work together. So we know us not getting to the quarterback, we put stress on our DBs. So as far as just like, we got to do better. We got to do better, getting to the quarterback and either getting them off his mark, getting them on the ground, and just giving our DBs a chance. You know, they can't be covering for forever. You know, it's tough.
Let me give the defense a little credit for a sec. So first game, that opening drive, Xavier was pissed off after the game. You had a lot of guys that were angry how that first drive went, and Alabama A&M maybe had more success than you thought they would. And then week 2, Rayner really was running for his life a lot of that game. Defensive line stepped up, I think 4 sacks, several tackles for loss, and they need that jolt. They need another jolt after this game. They're obviously being called out, and frankly, deservedly so. That was one of Travis Williams' worst performances at DC. And again, there's not many people that will defend and go to bat for Travis Williams more than me. But you can't have those type of games the rest of the way if you expect to win football games in the South. He knows that. I'm not saying anything he doesn't know, but hopefully, like Xavier Sori said, like Sam Pittman said, and like I know Travis Williams would say, we're not going to hear from him because they don't do media availabilities for the DC or OC during the season, but hopefully that'll be something that they can adjust somehow, some way, and get things going. We're going to get more into what Hunter Yurchek said at the Little Rock Touchdown Club yesterday coming up, but that is your Hog Update here on a Tuesday. Hog Update, always brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888 Sparky.
All right, so this is not something that I do, but I did see when I was just kind of looking through some holiday days. Collect Rocks Day. You don't collect rocks, Colton, but what do you collect? What is an item that you have compiled and collected over the years that's special to you?
I do have and own over 100 hats. That's kind of my thing. I
100?
like hats. Yeah,
Okay.
over 100. I like hats to match the color of the outfit that I'm wearing. Hats with old Razorback stuff on them, Dolphin stuff, old logos. I like stuff like that. Hats is my thing.
Dr. Liggett gave you an old Dolphins hat yesterday, which I thought was cool
It's
for him.
my son, so I got to wait to give it to him. It's a cool hat.
There you
I'm kinda
go.
mad.
Let's ask our friend David Rath what he collects. David, is it old movie merchandise? I know you're a pop culture guy. What are you a hoarder of? What do you collect?
You know, it's probably one extreme or the other. I got 2 things that really come to mind. Guitar stuff.
Okay.
You know, I played guitar since I was like 12, so everything from guitars themselves down to the pedals and, you know, all that junk. Have a hard time turning loose any of that stuff. I got more of that than I'm probably proud to admit. And then stickers. If I see a cool sticker, dude, I can't turn that down. And then I have the hardest time actually committing to putting it on anything because I know, you know, that's it, you know. So I'm a sucker for a good sticker.
There was plenty of the sticker I saw the most of in Oxford this weekend was a rebel riding a hog, and my friends kept showing me that over and over that were Ole Miss fans, and unfortunately they pretty much did that at the tail end of that game. So stickers and guitar stuff. Okay, I can deal with that. You're not necessarily a hoarder of cars, but you do have a lot of them in stock right now. Plus it's a grand year away this month, man. I know people have been taking advantage of that.
Yeah, this is absolutely right. And we just got a whole truckload in of more pre-owned cars. We're running through our recon center and getting them ready for both lots. So yeah, I mean, it's $1,000 your way. There's no strings attached to that. You come in, you pick out a road ready certified pre-owned car, finance with us, you know, and let us take care of you there. Great options on lending right now. We got some great credit unions we work with, big national lenders, kind of something for everybody. And yeah, you're going to get $1,000 back your way. You can put that towards your taxes if you like. A lot of people use it that way, or just do a discount for you, or put a little extra on your trade-in. $1,000, use it however you want.
$1,000 your way, however you want, as David said. That's Rath Mitsubishi in Spring-Hill and Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith. All right, man, go collect some more stickers and guitar stuff, okay?
I appreciate you, man. You guys have a good one.
All right, good stuff from our buddy David, as always. When we come back, we're going to get into our Morning Rush Daily Question, as well as unpacking some of the stuff that was said in Little Rock by Hunter Yurachek yesterday. Stay with us.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother. They're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's What's for Dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. Courtesy of beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef. It's What's for Dinner.
Going to give the ball to Braylon Russell straight ahead at the goal line. Touchdown, Arkansas.
This is the Morning Rush.
It's time for the end of summer clearance at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, get $1,000 your way when you drive away in the road-ready certified pre-owned car of your choice. Inspected, reconditioned, and backed by a comprehensive warranty. Get an extra discount, extra for your trade, or buy that special someone a gift to make up for not talking to them about the new truck in the driveway. We got your back. $1,000 to use however you like. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey anglers, do you have what it takes to win the Beaver Big Bass Fall Tournament? It's happening Sunday, September 21st at Prairie Creek. Entry is just $175 per participant, with first place payout a whopping $20,000. Launch from anywhere. Lines hit the water at 6:30 a.m. With a total payout based on 200 anglers, this is the one you don't want to miss. Get signed up now at facebook.com/THE3DROSCOE. The Beaver Big Bass Fall Tournament. See you on the water.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Dad, the driver looks dirty.
You yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, it's Zach from the Ruskin and Zach Show. Join Derek and myself this Friday, September the 19th, as we do our show from the Choctaw Tent right off the Par 3 15th at the LPGA's Walmart NWA Championship. We'll have live interviews with players and some of the event staff, plus all of the excitement of the Choctaw Casino tent. Get you up to date on the latest events and happenings as well. Join us this Friday, September the 19th at Pinnacle Country Club in Rogers for the LPGA NWA Championship. Ruskin and Zach broadcasting live from 2 to 6.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. At Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Kristen's place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
To win a national championship in men's basketball moving forward. We know we're set up to win a national championship in baseball moving forward, and I think we're set up in several other sports to win a national championship. Football, where we are right now, we're not set up to win a national championship. I'll just be brutally honest with that. But I think we're set up to compete really well in the Southeastern Conference, especially now with the new revenue sharing model.
And you feel that's directly related to directly related to finances. That's what you feel when you say that, correct?
Absolutely. It's directly related to finances and what programs were able to invest in their teams in the past.
That was Hunter Yurchek talking with David Basil yesterday at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. And this is a pretty broad Morning Rush daily question for you this morning. Lewis Automotive Group hotline open for you, 877-377-6963. What did you make of Hunter Yurchek saying that about the football program? Again, just a little snippet.
But I think we're set up to compete really well in the Southeastern Conference, especially now with the new revenue sharing model.
We're going to get to some text. I'll field Brent's call in just a sec. Now, my initial thought was, well, he's thought this way privately for a while, but this is the first time I've actually pen to paper, he's actually said it in front of a large group that obviously he is aware that this is going to go out to the public, where Razorback fans will have their opinions and react or whatnot. Some of the things I wrote down were this, players obviously see this. So if you're a player, money is obviously a big issue nowadays where you're going to school. But it's also winning. It's also wanting to win a national championship. And one of the things DVH has that not a lot of their coaches do, it's pretty much every 3 or 4 years, you're going to Omaha. He has the resume. It's just he doesn't, again, I want him to get a ring like everyone else does, but he has that resume. So players see this. Your coaching staff, head coach, and maybe they've already had conversations that I'm not privy to, and they've already had this. The other thing is, as the head, and I've heard people say the head of the snake. It's not the head of the snake. As the head of our football program, the head of our athletics department, it is directly your job to make it where we can be a national championship level competitive program. That is part, whether it's in the job description or not, every athletics director in the SEC, with the exception of maybe Mitch Barnhart in Kentucky, knows that they're, and you could say the Vandy AD, but they're actually decent this year, and they were last year. It's your job to make it where you feel like you can convince the fans this could be our year. And I think when it comes to saying what he said about the basketball and baseball program. He's right. I feel confident that Arkansas could be in Indianapolis, Indiana this next year, competing for the Final Four in Lucas Oil Stadium. I think we still feel like that Dave Van Horn, some of you don't, but I think a lot of us still do feel like that he can get us over the hump. Now, I'm one of those guys that doesn't think it is definitive. Some people are like, yeah, he's going to get one. Not there, but you still feel like that things are set up in place for him to win a national championship. So that competitive stuff that you're talking about, if you're Hunter, what does that mean? Does that mean just a 6-point loss in Oxford? Is that competitive? Is 6-6 every year considered competitive? Like, I get to broaden the question, to ask a follow-up of sort, what does that mean to him? Because middling around 500, being that quote-unquote mediocre football program with the exception of 2021, to me is not being competitive. And I don't think any of our listeners, Colton, would qualify that as being competitive either.
No, I think obviously people are starved for wins. They want their football program to be on the same trajectory as your basketball and as your baseball programs, to be in these games of consequence year in and year out. But what I took from this is, look, Ty, he's sitting here talking to all these people at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. It's a room full of boosters. Of course he's going to say we need more money. That's the least surprising thing ever, that the athletic director for a major Division I college program is saying that we need more money. That's his job as well. It's also his job to go out there and find ways to fundraise, find ways to get your boosters to buy into the football program. So an athletic director telling people we don't have enough money, I mean, fork found in kitchen. Sky blue. There's not much news there. But to your point, people are starved for these wins. They want to see something change. They want the one-score games that are losses to turn into wins. They do want things to be different. And so right now, we're in this time period where people want to know, can you actually buy a championship in football? Ohio State spent tons and tons of money on their roster last year. Texas Tech is doing the same thing this year. So if Texas Tech ends up in the playoff and Ohio State won the national championship last year, you're not going to convince me or lots of other people that that's not the path you have to take, is to buy your way to a championship. Now, when he went on and talked about how there's that third lane and you have to make sure that we're practicing integrity as an athletics program, okay, that's great. I appreciate that, but everybody else that's around you, all your neighbors, are cheating in one way or another, or they're finessing the system. They're finding ways to go outside, to use the secret fourth lane if they have to. They're all driving in the carpool lane with one person. And for all this, he's not wrong when he's saying stuff about how for every 5 people that Georgia can send out to recruit, Arkansas has 1. You're at a disadvantage everywhere you look from a financial standpoint from your football program. And if you want to be better, you do have to have more buy-in. So he's not saying anything that's wrong. It's just hard for all of us to accept that because of the fact that it doesn't seem to matter when the on-field product hasn't changed despite all these other things in college football changing on a dime.
Well, go to some text. Brent's in Searcy first. Brent, your thoughts?
I could not agree with you more, Ty Richardson. I mean, every time we put Hunter Yurchek in a position to speak, he makes our fan base feel like he insults our intelligence. I cannot agree with you more. I think if he doesn't think we're able to compete on a national championship level, then how are we supposed to get good players? To go out with money or quit today. He ought to be fired for those comments, Ty Richardson. Fired.
Well, so he did say some things yesterday I agree with, including there seems to be a plan and process about the basketball hanging jerseys in the rafters. But I hate bringing up this example, but it's just true. It's just blatantly true. So in Oxford this weekend, that thing is going. I mean, Lane's won, I think, 8, 10, 11, and I think he's got another 10-win season in the last 4 or 5 years. And that university, that fan base, Keith Carter, I keep saying Arkansas's own because he's from Perryville, they know what's going on. Now, and Chris Beard's doing a good job in basketball. I know the baseball hasn't been maybe as good as they want it to be, but they are in lockstep with one another. And it is so aggravating and frustrating to me. And I'm not saying it's right or not, but I still, it pains me to see Ole Miss having all this success that we as a fan base feel like that we could potentially have, and we don't. And I mean, from the collective, from the football, it's way better in Oxford than in Fayetteville right now. And it's really hard to argue. And you could say some of the other sports, you can at least have that debate with the Arkansas success and a bunch of other sports on campus. But we trade it all for football. Mm-hmm. We really would. Whether you want to admit it or not, you could be diehard baseball, basketball. The majority of this fan base would trade up that success for football. All right, that is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. Number one place for indoor golf in all of Arkansas. They are partnering with Rogers Public Schools right now for the month-long Dignity Closet Drive. They're helping collect personal care, hygiene, and household essentials for the Rogers community. And you're going to get raffle tickets for participating, for prizes, diapers, sanitary products, coats, shoes, and more. Drop them off at Cart Pass Social. Two of my college buddies, two Rogers boys, Nate Garehan, Christian Olson, 122 Grant Place in Lowell. That is Cart Pass Social. Melvin's in Sheridan. Melvin, good morning.
Good morning. Well, you know, it goes back to being Hunter's fault. They're supposed to be smarter than everybody else in the room. They should have seen some of this stuff coming. And Sam, like him or not, does not bring the dollars to that football program. He just doesn't. He's not charismatic enough or leadership enough. Kyle, if Sam was going to lead you to war, would you sign up and go with him, or would you say, no, I'll wait for another general?
So I think that's an interesting question that always gets brought up when you see sound bites of Jimmy Johnson or John Gruden. I'm not in that locker room. I'm not in. We see very selective clips from practice. So he could be one way in a press conference and another way, completely different locker room. But I get where you're coming from, at least. That I'll give you that. But listen, these kids on this campus, like when you talk to them, they say that one of the reasons they came here is because of Sam Pittman. So evidently he's made enough of an impact to pull in a kid. And by the way, keep a kid in Taylon Green, who we've watched these first 3 weeks and is easily a top 5 quarterback in the SEC that I'm going to guess was pursued in the offseason. I don't know that, but I'm just going to guess. So there's something, like when people want to pile on Sam and maybe him not being the most boisterous and most energetic in press conference, I don't give a rip about that. I just want a guy that's going to win football games. Petrino, go listen, Melvin, go listen to a Petrino press conference back in the day. Go listen to a Petrino pregame speech. It was awful. And this was coming off the heels of Houston Nutt, obviously, so we're used to something completely different. But you didn't care because he won games. I don't care what Sam Pittman sounds like in a press conference. I just want him to win games. Whether it's his way, that's the only thing that matters to me.
Can I finish what I was going to say, though? I'm not necessarily. He can give out all the cookies and milk he wants to in that locker room. What I'm telling you is when he gets in front of that camera, he does not make you reach for that donation to make that check. Now, that's what I'm talking about. He does not make you reach for your pocketbook. You got to have somebody. And while we're talking about that, how much does that school actually pay for a football program? Not $1. It's all on everybody else's back to buy that football team.
Well, the SEC obviously gives them the revenue distribution. There's donations. Listen, I don't have the balance sheet in front of me.
You fired the guy that won the press conferences. You flew a plane over the stadium because he wasn't winning football games. Give me a break.
All right, we got hour 2 coming up. We're going to talk with Tom Murphy when he comes. When we get to the other side of this. Lot to get to here on the Morning Rush Show. I think Tommy's going to rejoin us as well. If you've got thoughts like Melvin, if you want to jump in here, and also like Brent, 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Group hotline. End of the day, I don't really care how a guy sounds in pressers. I don't care how he sounds in booster clubs. Just want him to win football games. It's a bottom line business, and that's the bottom line.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother. They're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's What's for Dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. Courtesy of beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Tom Murphy is brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef. It's What's for Dinner.
Do you feel that, Arkansas? The Lotto jackpot is now more than $1 million. Why should you care? Because this $1 million+ prize can only be won in Arkansas. There are 2 Lotto drawings every week, and the jackpot keeps growing until there's a winner. Join the fun and play Lotto today. A $2 ticket could change your life. Get yours in stores today. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
This is the Morning Rush.
It's time for the end of summer clearance at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, get a grand your way when you drive away in the road-ready certified pre-owned car of your choice. Inspected, reconditioned, and backed by a comprehensive warranty. Get an extra discount, extra for your trade, or buy that special someone a gift to make up for not talking to them about the new truck in the driveway. We got your back. $1,000 to use however you like. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Hey drivers, got a reefer on the fritz or a trailer that needs some TLC? Roll into High Tech Truck Refrigeration Service in Van Buren, your one-stop, full-service, semi-truck and trailer repair facility, proudly serving you for over 30 years. At High Tech Truck, they do it all: DOTs, preventative maintenance, structural repairs, and expert reefer service. Fast, reliable, and driver approved. Call High Tech Truck today at 479-474-2220. Keep your wheels and your freight moving. High Tech Truck, proud sponsors of Arkansas football.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. This is a game changer for the Van Alma community. Sharp Equipment is now open at 3918 Pointer Trail East in Van Buren. No matter what sector of heavy equipment you're in, you'll leave Sharp Equipment with new ideas, new relationships, and new opportunities to grow your business. Sharp Equipment is locally owned and operated, so whether you're needing to stock up on filters, order replacements, or renting equipment for the next big job, this is the perfect place to shop locally. Stop in at Sharp Equipment, now located at 3918 Pointer Trail East in Van Buren, or give them a call at 479-649-0500 to see how Sharp Equipment can help you move more than just the world. They help you move forward.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
If you or a loved one experienced emotional distress due to slow internet 25 years ago,
Taco Bell believes you're entitled to a delicious escape. The Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos, 7-layer burrito, caramel apple empanada, and more. All $3 or less. Claim 5 returning faves and relive what you love from the 2000s. If you already suffered dial-up, don't wait any longer. Experience Taco Bell's Decades Y2K menu now. At participating stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price of participation vary. Tax extra.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine with a chance of an isolated shower or rubble of thunder today. A high this afternoon will be into the low 90s. Tonight, an outside chance of a shower or storm early. An overnight low will drop down mid to upper 60s. Wednesday, sunshine, isolated showers to storms in the mix. A high into the low 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Good pick.
KERX Paris Fort Smith.
The drinking all day.
Let's all raise our hands. If you're driving down I-40 and the speed limit's 55, but you know there's not going to be a trooper out that day, how many are going 65, right? That's what's happening in college athletics right now. And so you have to decide as an athletic director, are you going to get out in this lane that you know you're not supposed to be in and operate without the highest level of integrity, or do you want to stay in these two lanes? And that's where the rub is coming right now in college athletics. Until we get our enforcement agency up and running, you're going to continue to have schools operating in that third lane, and that's a bad place to be, in my opinion. It's bad for college athletics. And I don't want to operate there, but I think to be competitive, we may have to figure out what that third lane looks like for the University of Arkansas.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. With Ty Richardson.
It's called integrity, saying what you think.
And Tommy Kraft.
We got Nut Grub. Okay. And we got the, what I call it? The Buck Muffin.
And produced by Colton Little. This is The Morning Rush.
Let's be honest. If we don't see any cops, we're not going 5 or 10 over. We're going like 20 over. My dad taught me at an early age, and by early, I guess it was 14 or 15 when I got behind the wheels of a vehicle. Tommy's with us now for hour 2. It's like, go about 7 over, because you're not going to get pulled over by a cop if you go 7 over. So if the speed limit's 75, I'm going like 81 or 82. If the speed limit's 70, I'm going 77. I have not been pulled over ever for going 7 over. So I feel like that's a good wheelhouse to be in. If you're going to speed, that is what you need to be about 7 miles per hour over. That's from my father, so it's biblical, Tommy, as you know.
Makes it biblical,
Yeah.
Or his words written in red.
Honor your father and mother. Part of
How
it.
you guys doing? I missed you guys.
I just can't stop working. What was the ABA convention like? How was Coach Richardson?
The Arkansas Broadcasters Association convention has adjourned, and Coach
fancy.
Richardson was outstanding. I'm sure glad that he was the Arkansan of the year this year, and he has done so much. It was amazing, and I've had the honor of sitting next to him during the luncheon before his speech, and his grandson Garrett was there, and just the number of people that walk up and have a story. Coach, I was at the Southwest Conference tournament in 1990. Coach, I was in that building when you beat Missouri. It just on, and the number of people that just have a great memory associated with one of Nolan's teams. So well-fitting, probably overdue. He was named the ABA's Arkansan of the year, so glad to see him. So I'm broadcasting, at least for the next hour, from the beautiful Oakline Casino and Hotel. Just out the window to my left, you can see the track here, and what a beautiful place here at Oakline. The sports book's on the other end, so you can download that Oakline Sports app even if you don't have it, Ty. Even if you're not here like I am right now, you can download the app. You can take advantage of the free bonus bets the first 10 days as a new customer. You can get the 3-leg parlays that qualify with a 10% profit boost, and I can go down and put $100 in your account right now for you if you need. You can get money in, get money out right here on site at Oakline, plus your debit card, PayPal, Venmo, and ACH all work as well. That's the Oakline Sports Betting app. Bet with Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. That's Oakline Sports. Beautiful place. We hadn't been here to do a show in a while. Our convention was here at this hotel. Just wonderful few days here. They have done a great job of taking care of broadcasters around the state the last few days.
Real quick before we jump back into the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, because I know there's some thoughts on Hunter's comments there at the top of our open, plus what we played. before we went to break. You obviously have been around Coach Richardson. He's got plenty of former great players, as does the late Eddie Sutton. And that was one of the things Hunter also touched on yesterday, was getting some things up in the rafters.
I mean, one thing that I understand is really important to people across this state is the history of our athletic program and the success that we've had in so many of our sports, and never forgetting that past. I understand that. I can tell you as a staff, and I'm not making excuses, that for the past 2 years, we have been so focused on the future. I don't want to say that we've forgotten the past, but those things have gone on our side burner. And I think with, the honoring of Darren McFadden's jersey this football season, we'll have some announcements of what we're going to do in basketball season in the near future. We're going to continue to embrace the past because we know how important that is to honor our past and celebrate our past.
No one disputed that at all when he said that yesterday. Now, there were some other things that people disagreed with that we'll continue to talk about. Tom's going to join us momentarily. Terry in Pocahontas, I think, has a thought on some of Hunter Yurichek's comments yesterday at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. Terry, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I'd like to start out by saying I am no Sam Pittman hater. In fact, I think he's done a great job getting us back to some point of relevancy. However, if you start I'm glad Hunter actually yesterday publicly stated that the football program is not on national championship status. However, he did state the other two programs are on. And what's different about those other two programs? You've got Van Horn that wins at a high clip. You've got Calipari that's come in and won at a high clip and has had a track record of doing that. And no knock to Sam, but he's been mediocre. It's hard for the people of Arkansas that donate money to want to continue to donate money to mediocrity. So I think that's the problem, the real problem. He's a great person. I don't want to see what he does.
Whoa. Would you agree? I mean, John Calipari's already in the Hall of Fame, right? He's already in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Dave Van Horn is going to be when he qualifies. You got Hall of Fame coaches there. You look at all the success Arkansas has had over the years in any of the sports, it's come behind a Hall of Fame coach, right? I mean, no knock on Sam Pittman, but he is not a Hall of Fame coach to the level of Calipari or Van Horn or some of the predecessors that have been at Arkansas. So, Arkansas's made some Hall of Fame coaches over the years, but, I think it's hard to compare Sam Pittman with John Calipari or Dave Van Horn and just say that they're a product of the system at Arkansas. I think they've helped to build what they've got.
I 100% agree with you, but I'm saying that's why you're seeing financial problems. He's done a good job getting us to where we are now, but I think at some point you've got to move on.
Well, do you want to invest your money in Apple, Walmart, Netflix, proven companies, or do you want to put your money in startups that may or got an 80%? Sam Pittman's a coach that I think has gotten us back on a solid footing, but it's going to take the next coach and finding someone that can be that Hall of Fame level to get you at a national championship level. But don't downplay or devalue what Sam has done. If you do, you're forgetting how bad Chad Morris was. Because if you think it can't get worse than it is now, you've got short-term memory problems because Chad Morris took us to the depths of the abyss.
So on that subject, I guess I would ask you, because of how bad it was and because of you're up on Georgia. I brought this up earlier. Traylon scores his first touchdown of the year back in 2020. It took one game from Kendall Briles. Morris couldn't figure it out. And you're up on Georgia at half. You end up losing that game. You win 3 SEC games in year one. Obviously, you win 9 games the next year.
You played 10
you played
SEC
10.
games.
So, and you probably should have won 2 of them. You got screwed at Auburn, and another game should have gone your way too. So, they're like the links that Arkansas. I feel like Arkansas fans, for the most part, Tommy, have been very gracious and very patient, right? Do you with Sam Pittman for the last 3 years, regular season wise, 6-6, 4-8, 6-6. So it's like the battle back and forth. It's like, yes, he brought us out of the depths of hell. Wholeheartedly agree with your statement on that. But when does that? And the honeymoon is not the right word. But when does that end? I think they're going to go 6-6 this year. I really do. I've said that before. Nothing about Saturday night changed my opinion at all. So, do you give him like another grace year because of how bad it was and what he was able to do in just year one. I think that's the inner battle, the inner fight right now within not just the athletics department, but this fan base, is because, like you said, it was awful, maybe the worst it's ever been. But at the same time, if you're not going anywhere, if there's not a trajectory that has you beyond 7-6, then I don't know what we're doing. I don't disagree with anything Hunter said about them not being ready to compete in football. But at the same time, that's kind of on him as the AD to get us to that level.
So what should he do next? I don't disagree with what you said. I think Sam Pittman has been passable. He has not been championship level, and I think he would agree with that. Losing the close games, and I know y'all talked about that yesterday, but you come back to the feet of Hunter Yurachek, who I think by and large has done a pretty good job considering the hires he's made and the other programs he's turned around. They haven't unlocked the Rubik's Cube here yet for football, but what should be his next move?
Do whatever Keith Carter's doing. I mean, and I don't know the Missouri AD, but I'd say that tongue in cheek.
What is that?
It's almost like we're just waiting on this new world of college athletics to shake out before we actually make our move.
I think that's some of it, because the unknown of rev share, that didn't sneak up on ADs, nor did it sneak up on Hunter Yurachek. I heard his comments where he spoke about having to make the reduction in staff and the 15 positions they eliminated plus the ones they never filled, and $65 million of their overhead was in payroll and payroll related expenses, and you got to know how to run a business too in his spot. And I think by and large he's but I do agree with the idea that an AD is measured by and large with the success or failure of his football program at most schools. And unless you're named Duke or Kentucky.
Yeah, unless you're Mitch Barnhart in the SEC. That's
unless
pretty.
you're Kansas maybe. But
or Vandy.
Other than that, 3% of your revenue comes from football. You got to be good there.
Mm-hmm.
And Arkansas's certainly not touched great very often in the last 6 seasons. But they have come a long ways from where it was when Hunter Yurachek first arrived.
Yeah. All right, let's get Tom Murphy's thoughts on this as he joins us this morning.
We got something called beef. B-E-E-F.
This hour of the Morning Rush is presented by the Arkansas Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner.
Once again, beef.
Tom, I felt like a credit card agency or an airline because we kept you on hold for way too long. I appreciate you staying on with us, man. How are we on this Tuesday?
I'm doing good. Those are a lot of interesting points that you guys were discussing. Many places to jump in, but I'm ready to roll, man. Wherever you want to go.
Whole Hog Sports Arkansas Democrat Gazette is where you can read Tom each and every day. So, Tom, of the discussion Tommy and I just had, where do you want to interject first? Where do you want to give some thoughts on first as we're kind of reacting to Hunter Yurachek's comments? Plenty of them made at the Little Rock Touchdown Club yesterday.
Well, I'll start rolling with a stream of consciousness, and we'll cut it off at a good spot. But I would say this, that Hunter spoke up here also 2 weeks ago to the Hogs Illustrated Club, and I attended that one. And it was many of the same talking points about the overall state of the athletic department and what's happening with football. But overall, Arkansas is way up there in baseball, obviously for years now, and basketball, of course, track and field and all. But football is the one. But every school out there is pouring a whole lot of resources into it. And when NIL hit, so many others of them were better positioned. So they've been playing catch up. Now, my perspective in covering every Sam Pittman game since he's been here, I think he's really good at motivating. I think he's good at like team chemistry stuff. And the 1 year they lost control of that was I think largely NIL driven, with KJ being paid so much more and in a way separating himself from the team, and more than just I'm making more than you guys, but just how he conducted himself. So he didn't handle that one great, but they've been fighting an uphill battle in recruiting, NIL, and all that, and they're very, very competitive. I think it was a little bit of a knee jerk for Sam to hire Dan Enos, because I think people have basically caught up to his offense, and I don't know if he was great at inspiring players, but it was a masterstroke to get Bobby Petrino back, because if they were just kind of a middle defense right now, they would have won Saturday's game. But the portal was not good to them defensively. We talked about it all summer, and then in camp, do they have enough pass rushers? And they just didn't. They did not get to the quarterback, and then it came down to what we talked about all camp. Do you have to send exotic blitzes? And when you do, you leave your corners in man, and Ole Miss exploited that, even with a backup quarterback. So I've said a lot to say, but I wrote this in my advance for the Ole Miss game the other day, and I kind of got deep into the weeds. But it has been hard for Arkansas football to be a big winner in the SEC. They have no SEC championships, and many of the coaches who've been here since, you transitioned from Jack Crow to Joe Kynes after one game as an SEC team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Crow did not have a winning record. Kynes did not. Danny Ford did not. Then you had Houston Nutt and Bobby Petrino back-to-back, big time, especially Petrino's last 2 years have been the only years where you could say Arkansas was very close to great in the SEC. 2010 and 2011, close to great. Brett Bielema had a losing record, and then we know everyone else since then has had a losing record, except Sam Pittman, who's now 32-32. So so much goes into being in a winning program. And you're talking about a chicken and the egg thing on people donating to the department. Well, I want to see football win first. Well, they need money for football to win. So in some ways, Arkansas fans who have the resources to do it are going to have to pony up. They haven't got a sponsor for a title name for the football stadium. That needs to happen.
Yeah. So when you look at the new world, I know we need to be talking about the Ole Miss game from Saturday. You hit on a few points there, but real quick, we're entering in this world where supposedly everybody's got the 20.5. You back the scholarships out. There's 17, 18 million left for rev share. Most of that goes to football. This NIL money is supposed to go before a clearinghouse, and they evaluate fair market value. That should put Arkansas on a level playing field. But Tom, I have zero faith, and I'm happy to hear Hunter talk about, hey, we're going to get in that third lane where people aren't obeying the speed limit, and we're going to go for it. I'm happy to hear that, but I've got no faith that this clearinghouse or this system that should level the field a little bit is actually going to do that. And I don't think that the modern world and the modern setup is going to favor or keep the disadvantage for Arkansas to any minimum.
No, there are athletic departments all over the place who will find their ways to make sure their players get paid more. You and I, at the dawn of the NIL era, you and I both predicted it was going to get out of control. And it got out of control. It was already basically out of control as they headed into it, and it got more out of control. And the big spenders. Now, you can argue, there's been a lot of different national champions in recent years and all that, and the Big Ten schools have jumped in there and won some along with the SEC. But the big spenders found their ways. And Hunter Yurchek said yesterday, there are departments in the SEC who are spending close to $300 million. Well, Arkansas is at $181. So you're talking about $120 million more than Arkansas, which, that's another 40% more than what Arkansas is spending. And a lot of that is going to acquire personnel in football. So I think Arkansas is closer to being on par, but not near to where the big spenders are.
The only of the mighty that have fallen since all this has been Alabama, and I think you could lay most of that at the feet of Nick Saban retiring. And their story isn't written yet on this year, but you look at the teams in the playoff last year, with few exceptions, with SMU, with TCU the year before. There's not been a lot of newcomers to the championship equation under the new setup. And I suspect under rev share, we're not going to see a whole bunch of other programs, like Arkansas, like South Carolina. I know Vanderbilt's on the rise, but I just don't think over the long haul we're going to see a lot of those programs really jump into the mix. Yeah, you may get in as a 12, 13, 14, seed if they expand this thing out. But as far as, being one of the elites and then the top 4 to 6 seeds, I don't see that batting lineup changing a whole lot.
No, I don't either. And you can add Indiana last year to that mix.
Yeah.
But you're right. I don't see it changing a lot. But I do think the expanded playoff gives teams like Arkansas more hope. Or just say you're Ole Miss. I mean, you've never even played for the SEC championship, and you wouldn't have last year. But if they had beaten either Kentucky or the Florida game late, they could have been in the playoff. So if you have that kind of season, a 9 or 10 win season, you have a chance now. But countering that, the SEC added the 9-game conference schedule, which hurts teams like Arkansas and Kentucky and so on. The ones that aren't Georgia, Alabama, LSU, and Texas, and so, watching what happens near the top of the SEC this year will be fascinating because you've got teams like Oklahoma and Auburn and, Alabama's not out of it yet, but that are going to battle for playoff spots. And I hate it for Arkansas that they were very, very competitive against Ole Miss and could have won the game. And then, say they do, and then they beat Memphis. You'd might have had a top 25 matchup going into the Notre Dame game. And by the way, I give Arkansas a really, really good puncher's chance to have a shot to beat Notre Dame here in 2 weeks.
Tom Murphy with us, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. So, Tom, before you came on, we were talking about Ole Miss a little bit. I think Lane's won 8, 10, 11, and maybe another 10-win season in the last 4 or 5 years. Why is it working in Oxford and not working in Fayetteville, in your opinion, with football?
Well, I think one of the biggest issues is the Grove Collective was up and running, was a well-oiled machine when Arkansas was still trying to play catch-up there. That's number one. Also, Lane is an offensive genius. Sam did not want to give them a ton of credit for not doing anything they didn't expect the other day with Chambliss, but I think Ole Miss schemed up really well to get their backs. They were doing some motion stuff and some swing passes, and then they'd have the motion guy get out on the flank and just throw them a quick, easy pass, letting those guys do their business.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of times they isolated Steven Dix, and he didn't have the speed, and they ended up being pretty long. A couple of times Sorey was out there, but Lacey juked him and had a big gain out of it against Sorey, who's their fastest linebacker. And I think when Sam referenced yesterday that you got to use the sideline as your friend, I think he was talking about the Sorey play where Lacey juked and got inside of him. And if Sorey just commits to the inside, then Lacey's got to go out, may go out of bounds, and then he'll have a little bit more help arriving as opposed to letting him get back in the open space. So, but, Lane and Sam Pittman came in at the same time, both interviewed for the Arkansas job, and so they're going to be compared. Same with Eli Drinkwitz. But Lane, I think Lane is a really good offensive mastermind type guy, and last year the defensive personnel Ole Miss had was all, just great NIL recruiting. I mean, their portal rankings have been way up there the last few years.
So, Thomas, did Saturday night change your opinion about this team and what they could be ceiling-wise moving forward? I mean, I felt like in the offseason we're like, you got a pretty good offense and defense it could be a little hairy. I mean, do you have a different opinion, a different perspective on this team after a tight road loss on Saturday?
Not really. You can't go into the free agent pool and get you a D lineman right now. They got to stay healthy there, and it really hurt that Quincy Rose was not at 100% because he would have been their best pass rush option. But no, they just got to be able. They've got to be able to communicate their calls and have the players understand what they're going to do before the snap better than they did the other day. If they can do that, they can have better defensive performances. And but offensively, I mean, they are so on point. If you look at everything, third down conversions, red zone scoring, Taylor's numbers are up there with the best quarterbacks in the country. I mean, everything we talked about year 2 under Bobby Petrino through 3 games has been exactly on point with how much better they could be. And even the receiving core, I mean, they might not have a total burner who can get by people all the time, but it's a pretty nice core. So no, not a lot of my opinion has changed on what their ceiling could be, but we knew that was a swing game going into it. And without the fumble, and I just say this about the fumble, T.J. Daugherty earned the fumble. He stripped. I mean, when you have the ball yanked that hard, I was right there looking at the play. It's hard to hold on to it. And I know Jaylen Brown is crushed, but, man, that was a well-earned fumble. He yanked the crap out of that ball.
Yeah. All right, real quick before we go, I know you've peeked ahead to Memphis. This team's got to have an emotional bounce back, but this almost feels like a must-win just because of what happened last week.
Yeah, you don't want to lose this one, knowing what's ahead on your league schedule. And Memphis is just going to be a tough out, being at home, being a team that's they've been so successful under Silverfield that it's like Sam Pittman said last week, when you haven't lost yet, it's hard to lose. And so they're going to be facing that. What they have to do is hope they can get on top of them, score early, and then maybe somehow create some stops and some takeaways. And if they do that, I feel pretty confident Arkansas will win.
Tom, good stuff. Let's catch up again Thursday, and we'll get ready for the game on Saturday.
All right, let's do it. See y'all.
All right, Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports with us on Tuesdays, brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mothers, they're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together we bring more beef. It's What's for Dinner. This funded by the farmers and ranchers in Arkansas, and courtesy of beef. It's whatsfordinner.com.
Got to hit a break. Hunter Yurchek had a comparison with Missouri yesterday. We'll share it with you in your SEC update coming up next.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years.
We know we're set up to win a national championship in baseball moving forward, and I think we're set up in several other sports to win a national championship.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, it's Zach from the Ruskin and Zach Show. Join Derek and myself this Friday, September the 19th, as we do our show from the Choctaw Tent right off the Par 3 15th at the LPGA's Walmart NWA Championship. We'll have live interviews with players and some of the event staff, plus all of the excitement of the Choctaw Casino tent. Get you up to date on the latest events and happenings as well. Join us this Friday, September the 19th at Pinnacle Country Club in Rogers for the LPGA NWA Championship. Ruskin and Zach broadcasting live from 2 to 6.
Hardee's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two. With fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey drivers, got a reefer on the fritz or a trailer that needs some TLC? Roll into High Tech Truck Refrigeration Service in Van Buren, your one-stop, full-service, semi-truck and trailer repair facility, proudly serving you for over 30 years. At High Tech Truck, they do it all: DOTs, preventative maintenance, structural repairs, and expert reefer service. Fast, reliable, and driver approved. Call High Tech Truck today at 479-474-2220. Keep your wheels and your freight moving. High Tech Truck, proud sponsors of Arkansas football.
When a business has been around more than 65 years, you know they're doing something right. Hey, Ty Richardson for Johnny's Transmission. They've been trusted in Fort Smith and the River Valley since 1959. Located at 1212 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, they strive to make every customer's experience outstanding and want your vehicle to be in the best condition for the road ahead. Check out their website, johnnystransmissionfs.com, and find them on Facebook. Johnny's Transmission, family owned and operated since 1959.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why our agents work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Isn't it time to check Shelter out? Find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Call Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Come see Cody and the gang on Advanced Mechanical Performance. You can find him at 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Need repair or service for your ATV or UTV? Advanced Mechanical Performance can do it all, as well as taking care of all of your power sports parts accessory needs. Give him a call today at 434-4161. That's 434-4161. Or stop by 3201 Wheeler Avenue. Advanced Mechanical Performance. It's what you should be striving for.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion. You know, every game is a dogfight.
We're about the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally climbed the hill. It's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Won 3 SEC championships, which gives us 39 over the course of the last 8 years. To give you some perspective on those 39 across 12 different sports, our friends to the north at the University of Missouri have won 0 during that same time period.
All right, that was a little joke at the University of Missouri's expense from Hunter Yurchik Day at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. Tommy, any idea what the football record is in that time? The last 8 years between Arkansas and Missouri, and then the head-to-head as well?
Well, it'd be 1-7, I guess.
Yeah. If they lose after this year, it would be 1-7.
Okay, yeah.
Arkansas is 36-52 in football since
the one's the problem.
yeah, since 2018. Missouri is 55-35.
Yeah.
So listen, and it's almost like we're taking the other athletics accomplishments on our campus lightly, and I'm not trying to do that. But at the end of the day, being in the Southeastern Conference, you've got to be better in football in order for this fan base to be appeased and be happy. And that's what people keep coming back to, is they love what Dave Van Horn has done in baseball, Colby Hale's done in soccer, and Coach Taylor's done in women's golf. And there's all these different coaches I can list and give credit to. Obviously, track and field, the success that the women's and men's program have had. But you're not compared by what you do in those other sports for the most part. You're compared what you do on the gridiron. And comparatively in the SEC, you're in the bottom of the barrel, unfortunately.
It's 75% of your income is derived from football. Is it pretty clear and obvious to you that Kentucky has leaned a lot of their available funds and rev share and where they're going to basketball and other sports and not football?
Yeah, it was reported, 40-something? I think John Rothstein reported 40% of their revenue share is going to be used toward basketball, which is way more than any other.
Good luck hiring your next coach when you fire Stoops, but good luck for Stoops to try to win there with an arm tied behind his back. So, I mean, there was talk about should there be mandates on how much you would spend on each sport. League didn't go there, but Kentucky would have fought that tooth and nail because at the end of the day, their priority is basketball. So, I look for Kentucky to be the bottom feeder until something changes in that, because you can't trim 20 or 30% out of $18 million off and expect to be competitive. Not a place like Kentucky.
Couple more SEC headlines for you this morning. Joe Burrow is going to be out for the Bengals for like 3 months. The former LSU quarterback dealing with something I guess Darren dealt with back in the day, turf toe. He just can't stay healthy. I think 3 of the last 6 seasons he's had to deal with a pretty aggravating injury of some sort, and this is just a kind of another one in the National Football League. I don't remember him being injured in college at LSU in the 2 seasons he spent in Baton Rouge, but since he arrived in Cincinnati, all the hits he's taken, Tommy, he just he can't stay on the field.
Yeah, turf toe is what basically a jam toe. Usually it's your big toe, from what I understand. It jams that joint in there, very painful, and takes a while for the inflammation to die down. I've heard of them, kind of shooting that up with painkillers and deadening it so a guy can play, but very, very hard to play through that kind of injury.
Speaking of LSU quarterbacks, Brian Kelly touched on an injury Garrett Nussmeier has been dealing with yesterday.
Yeah, it's really a minor injury, but one that we've had to manage him. And look, it's like anything else. If you're not getting your throws in, if you're not able to do that on a consistent basis, there's some things that you're going to be careful with. He's going to be fine. The bye week will get him, over the hump. He's made progress. He's feeling so much better now. And we expect him to continue to improve. But, we have to be very careful with him. And I thought he did a great job of managing what we've asked him to manage as we develop our offense and continue to grow. It's about finding ways to win. And again, we've got a great defense. We've got explosive playmakers. We'll continue to move forward and feature those guys as he gets better and better.
What's interesting is we talked about this with Bruce, and Tommy, I know you're in the midst of leaving the Arkansas Broadcasters Association convention and everything you've been dealing with in Hot Springs, but there's been a reshuffling of sorts from where we thought quarterbacks would be at this point of the season based on where they are. Nussmeier's not as good as I thought he would be through 3 games, and obviously there's reason for that. Sellers got a concussion. I don't think he's going to play this week. Lagway threw 5 picks in Baton Rouge. Arch hasn't been good. Talon, I think, is far and away clearly been a top 5 quarterback in this league. Now, that's subject to change based on SEC play and everything else, but I think if you're
Simmons is hurt.
Yeah, Simmons is hurt.
Who knows how long Simmons will be out for Ole Miss.
Sounds like he's going to start again this week, according to Kiffin yesterday.
Boy, that's what he sounded like last week too, right?
I didn't think he was ever going to start for them based on – I said that multiple times last week.
Yeah, but he clearly couldn't go once he did get in there when Chambliss had the thumb problem. So
and yet Arkansas let him pick up 7 yards on a 3rd and 7 on an option.
With a one-legged man.
Yeah, one ankle. He's got one ankle, and then I'm just like – I'm watching that game, and it's like, how do we let a guy with one ankle – rush for 7 yards in basically a goal-to-goal situation? But I again don't want to open up wounds that we're still having to deal with the game.
They're not scabbed over
they're
yet.
They're fresh. They're still very fresh. But then you made a kid in his first FBS start who Bruce pointed out had played more in front of more fans on Saturday night than he's played in his collegiate career thus far at Ferris State, which is pretty remarkable. You got to give Lane Kiffin credit for everything else. But back to the original point, there's been a reshuffling of quarterbacks and where they are in the Southeastern Conference. And listen, Aguilar's been better than people thought he would. The Georgia kid, Stockton, made a lot of plays in that Tennessee game. So it's definitely it's taken shape. And Tommy, by the season's end, we could have a different thought. But I think John Mateer is probably the best quarterback in the SEC that I've seen to this point.
And at this point, I think we need another week's worth of more balanced schedule. We got to get into teams playing more than just one conference game.
Yep.
To really have a good feel for it, even with Talon. I'm not sure. The Notre Dame will certainly count into your conference level evaluation or analysis. But let's get through this month before we start writing anything in stone. But I would agree with your takeaways there so far. Arch Manning was probably the most overrated quarterback amongst them. I'm not ready to write Nussmeier off at this point. You should score more than 20 points when you get 5 turnovers, like you said. But no one is blowing the field away at this point. And I think your point in all of that is, hey, Talon Green's got a chance, particularly if he can lead his team to enough wins to qualify for the conversation. Talon Green's got a chance to at least be in the conversation of the 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in the league.
One of the other points as we wrap up our SEC update, point I made leading up to last Saturday night's game is this is Talon's first opportunity of the season to have an SEC moment, an iconic SEC moment at Arkansas. And it was basically taken away from him. Like, if that turnover doesn't happen, they're going to go down and score. Now, the debate begins, would Arkansas be able to stop Ole Miss for a field goal, touchdown, whatever else? But that is the best. I don't think it's disputable. That is the best that he has played in a Razorback uniform based on competition, based on venue. And people talked about maybe Sam Pittman not necessarily inspire them to spend money. I think that kid Saturday night inspired you, despite how bleak, despite how pessimistic you may be about the defense and what could come with that this season. That kid is going to keep you in games this fall and keep you engaged based on his play and based on his leadership on offense.
All right, that's your SEC update. If you're looking for a place to watch the game Saturday, 11 a.m., Joe's Grill and Cantina, half-price apps and taps are back for another game day. Wear your hog gear in, get all your appetizers and all your favorite beers on tap for half price. They'll open at 10:45. You can come in and get a great seat for the game and watch the whole game there at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Half-price apps and taps. Today's Taco Tuesday as well, so maybe see them for lunch today, but make a point to be there Saturday. Half-price apps and taps, Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harp.
Did see the news this morning that Robert Redford is dead at 89.
What do we got here, Red? The Salvation Army Band?
Bob Fisher? Who wants to know? I'm Roy Hobbs, your new right fielder.
My what?
Right here.
Scotty Carson sent you here?
That's right.
Must be nuts. Where do they find these guys, Red? Fella, you don't start playing ball at your age, you retire. Where do they find you?
The Heber Oilers.
The Heber Oilers? I never heard of it.
They're semi-pro.
Semi-pro. Schultz, go warm up. Did you ever play organized ball in your life?
I just got back in the game.
What does that mean?
I used to play in high school.
Excuse me?
I used to play in high school.
Red, he used to play in high school. That's nice.
It's a clip from The Natural, one of the better movies that he's been in. Tommy, the ones I jotted down were Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
That'd be number one.
All the President's Men, Indecent Proposal with him, Demi Moore.
Yeah, that was a good one, too. Demi Moore made that movie.
Yeah, The Old Man and the Gun and The Sting.
Jeremiah Johnson.
Maybe my favorite's The Horse Whisperer. So that's a really good one. But Robert Redford, I didn't realize he's 89 until the report came on this morning that he had passed. But always thought if there was a football movie starring Dick Vermeil, he should play Dick Vermeil.
Mm-hmm. Who played Greg Kinnear? Played in Invincible. They do. Him and Dick Vermeil do look alike. I never thought about that.
And then he wasn't in the movie, but A River Runs Through It. He produced, and it was the one with Brad Pitt. It was about fly fishing in Montana, and he narrated that voice in there. And he wasn't in the movie, but he produced and whatever. But his voice was throughout the movie.
What are Clay's thoughts on it? Is that a good movie according to Clay?
It's a great movie.
Okay.
It's a great. But the problem is everybody goes out and fly fishes, and they think they are Brad Pitt out there, trying to put their line on top of the water. So. Hey, Art's Barbecue, burgers and more. Saturday, we had it. I think this has become like 3 weekends in a row. We've done the smoked brisket queso at Art's for game day. If you're looking for a perfect game time treat, and these would be perfect this Saturday for the Arkansas-Memphis game, call up at 452-2550, 479-452-2550, and Arts will get that smoked brisket queso. It has been a crowd pleaser every week at our watch party, so do that. Big bag of chips, Joe's Grill and Cantina, their sister restaurant. The salsa comes with it. Plus, if you'll call Arts, they'll get ribs, brisket. They're smoked chicken. They do a half chicken. They'll cut it up or pull it for you. It feeds a bunch, so whatever you're needing, house-made sausages and more, all at Arts Barbecue. Rogers Avenue next, buddy. Also ask about the sloppy pig burger. They take their burger, serve it open-faced, pile the pulled pork on top of it, Ty, and then slather up a bunch, just smother it in that smoked brisket queso. It is awesome. It's Arts Barbecue, Rogers Avenue, 2 doors east of Lowe's in Fort Smith.
I know we're running up against it. As far as this weekend is concerned, Arkansas is about a touchdown and a half-point favorite on the road in Memphis. About an hour and a half where you played in Oxford, a place that Sam Pittman, I was reading, won, I guess, in 2015, 2022, and 2024. So he's had success in this venue, not against the Tigers because you hadn't played them yet. Here's Sam Pittman on them getting past the game last weekend and moving on to the Tigers.
You can't let any one game lose the next one for you. It's just like you can't let a big win. You're not just going to win the next week, So we'll do the same process that we did, after Arkansas State, and Alabama A&M and correct what we need to correct today and find out what we need to get better at. We'll find out what we're doing good is as important as that too, and move on.
Do we see defensive corrections next week, Tommy? Silverfield's a good coach. They've lost like 5 games near the last 30. Haven't lost a lot at home under him, and you're coming off again an emotional loss. Does the defense play inspired, fired up, kind of following like the Alabama end game? They played way better against Arkansas State. Do we see that type of bounce-back performance in Memphis this weekend?
We can talk about inspired. You think they were uninspired against Ole Miss? That's why they played that way?
No, I don't know.
Okay, exactly. How about we just play with better technique, take better angles, and how about we get a little more pressure on the quarterback when he's in the pocket to flush him and make him run and throw on the run. At the end of the day, these guys, and I don't think we've got an all-world secondary, even though we bragged on their size and their dimensions. But at the end of the day, these guys can't cover a quarterback or a wide receiver forever. We got to put the quarterback on the run, which starts with pressure up front. And, I don't know why Memphis or any other team wouldn't be planning to throw the ball a bunch on Arkansas until proven otherwise.
And on that
I don't think it's anything about inspired. They don't need to play more inspired. They just need to play better.
And on that note of the secondary, can we just stop with the animated celebrations after you break up a pass? I mean, I watched that game, and I didn't say that yesterday. I should have, but that was maybe, and there was a lot of things that should have driven you insane as an Arkansas fan on Saturday night. But when I watched them give up the amount of points and yards they gave up to a backup quarterback in his first FBS game, and you still go over the top on these celebrations, it'd be one thing if the offense wanted to do it because the offense actually played good. The defense, as much as that game as they played as poorly as they did, just go back to the huddle, look at your coach, look at T. Will, look at Marcus Woodson, and guys, just play. If you're getting cooked like you were most of Saturday night, just shut your mouth and play. And I'm not typically a guy that says that. Like I want guys to be boisterous, have fun, animate everyone else. But when you're getting annihilated like they did on Saturday night, don't act like it's a big deal when you break up 8 passes. That kid was 72%, I think, completion Saturday night. That drove me nuts. The backup quarterback. That drove me nuts.
Yeah. Hey, Gaston's White River Resort, standing by, ready to go for your fall getaway, whether it's an anniversary or a birthday coming up. Maybe it's just your kids are on fall break and you want to do something special for them. Gaston's can create the perfect setup for you to have the greatest memories that you and your kids or your grandkids will have for decades to come. 870-431-5202. Yes, the fishing and the great meals and the private cabins and all that are really central to it all. But at the end of the day, it's the memories you take away from the time you'll spend at Gaston's that really make everything worth it. 870-431-5202. Gastons.com is their website. But call Jacob, call Cheryl, or any on the reservations team, and let them walk you through the process, talk about the options, and really they can customize the trip to fit your budget, to fit the size of your group as well. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You can't be just like the girl that gets broken up with her longtime boyfriend and have your top taken off by a new person every single weekend. It's not a good recipe.
This is the Morning Rush.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey anglers, do you have what it takes to win the Beaver Big Bass Tournament? Sunday, September 21st on Beaver Lake. Entries are $175 per participant, with a first place payout of $20,000 based on 200 participants. Launch and fish from anywhere on the lake, but hourly and overall weigh-ins are all at Prairie Creek Public Tournament site. Lines hit the water at 6:30 a.m., and we start weighing fish at 7 a.m. for the first of 3 hourly slots. The scales close at 1 p.m., and we crown a winner. Go to facebook.com/THE3DROSCOE. See you on the water.
Doe's Eat Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends. It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Doe's Eat Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith. Contractors, you've got jobs to win and customers to impress. That's why you choose Luxair HVAC systems, built for performance, efficiency, and reliability. And at J&B Supply, we've had your back since 1968. We're a local family-owned distributor that treats our customers like family too, with the products, expertise, and service you need to get the job done right. For over 50 years, HVAC and plumbing pros have trusted J&B Supply in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville. J&B Supply, where the professionals go.
Have you had Cheerwine yet? The cherry flavored soda has had people coming back since 1917. This is RD with Platinum Distributing. We help bring Cheerwine to the River Valley for you to try. Nothing goes with food like Cheerwine. Burgers, barbecue, pizza, you name it. Okay, now we're hungry and thirsty. Cheerwine is a one-of-a-kind soft drink with a unique cherry taste that has been delighting Southerners for more than a century. Pick up Cheerwine at your local Jam Mart, Harps, and other fine establishments. Cheerwine, uniquely Southern since 1917.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Valley Family Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Anybody interested in grabbing a couple of burgers?
Those are good burgers, Walter.
Archer Burger. My God.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
I got the shakes that'll make you quit. I got the fries that'll cross your eyes. I got the burgers that'll... I just got burgers.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
Just going to text in to win. Our Lewis Automotive Group hotline open for you, 877-377-6963. The Razorbacks are heading to Memphis to take on the Tigers this weekend. Who is the American guitarist, singer-songwriter, who's lived in Memphis, performed in Memphis, no longer with us? He also has a blues club in the city, had a record label called Blues Boys Kingdom, and his real name is Riley. Got about 30 seconds. Tommy, do you know this off the top of your head?
I think I know exactly who you're talking about. I think you gave enough good clues.
Yeah, I've added plenty of them. I have been to his blues club. Great spot. Colton, do you know who this is?
Using context clues, I do think I have a good idea, but I will not share my answer.
Okay. Well, Keith is correct. He has chimed in. B.B. King. That is the correct answer. I didn't know his his first name was Riley until I kind of looked it up this morning. A lot of good places in Memphis, Tennessee, and Tommy, that's one of those that I know some Arkansas fans will be making their way towards this weekend.
Yeah, that'd be a hot spot, Bill Street. So hopefully Hog fans. I wonder how many go and stay the weekend, or how many just go in for the day. I think a lot will just go for the day.
Well, if you're coming from
11 a.m. game.
If you're coming from Northwest Arkansas, great place to stop is in Russellville, and of course always in Fayetteville at CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best. Coming up, halftime, Phil Elson and Matt Jones is next.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40